Hi everyone, it's Eddie here at Eddie Makes Art. Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to introduce you to my latest stencil design. It's Rosy lace, and it's available cut in an 8x10 or 9x12. So today I'm doing a mini long haul with my new stencil, Rosy lace. And basically a mini long haul is where you leave the stencil down on the plate and you do layers of paint and you pull them, layer of paint, pull it, and you create several prints without moving the stencil, and then you pick up the stencil, and what's left behind you pick up with another layer, and you create this really beautiful, interesting print with a lot of cool details. And so I'm going to do a mini version of that today. So I'm going to start my first layer by using black. This is an altered black, or I guess basically the bottle of the acrylic paint was running out, so I added a little bit of water and some acrylic medium to use up all what's inside the bottle. And so you see here it's separating, it's liquidy, but wait till you see the print that it creates. It's really cool. And today I'm trying out some new, what do they call that, deli paper. This is a 12x12 deli paper I bought, and I'll put a link in the description box below to this exact paper. And so far from using it, it's pretty good stuff. The next I'm going to use a soft body again from Liquitex. This is Naphthol Red. And wait till you see, look at that. It's mixing with the black on the stencil already, and it's creating this beautiful burgundy color. Wait till you see it on the paper. And what I'm using in my hand there is a paper towel to help me get into all the nooks and crannies and avoid my fingers getting all painty. Because sometimes the paint does seep through the papers, so you gotta be careful with that. Unless you like your fingers dirty. But look at that beautiful color. It's like a brownish mahogany color. And I just got these awesome new paints from my friend Becky. She gifted me a box of Arteza metallic paints. So I'm including those in this mini haul. And I got to tell you, they're pretty good. It's like a sample of each paint. They're not large tubes. You'll see that, those smaller tubes, but there's so many different colors. It's going to take forever to run out of these. Thank you, Becky. And this piece of paper, this is my typical print pulling paper, which is the 32-pound Hammermill color copy paper. Let's go ahead and add some yellow. This is a cad yellow from Liquitex. And it looks light. It looks kind of, wait till you see the print, because it does pull some of that metallic that I just laid on there. And if you notice, I'm not, letting anything dry on the stencil. I just keep pulling, adding paint, pulling, adding paint. And that's also going to allow what's on the stencil already to come back up onto the paper when you pull a print, and that gives you really interesting textures and surprises when you pull your prints. And also, when you're trying to achieve that, you want to alternate your paint viscosities if possible. If you have different paints, try to use, mix it up with the fluid acrylics, soft body acrylics, and the medium body and heavy body, and that gives you a good mix of prints. And for the Prussian blue, I'm using the deli paper again. That last print I pulled was on the tea bag paper, which I really like. So I'm going to have to get some more of that. And it's not as pricey as the carnival tissue. And unfortunately, these days, budget is super important. So I'm trying to find things, art supplies that don't break the bank. Let's pull the rest of this with this black print that we first pulled. And I like to do that. Take, the prints you've already pulled, and if you got a little bit of paint left that you want to pick up off the plate, put it down, put another, that print down, and pull it. And for my heavy body, or heavier body, it's kind of almost a heavy body, but not really. It's Fern from Lucas Krill, and then some pearl olive green in the Arteza metallic. I enjoyed this combination because it doesn't scream shiny, but when you look up close at the print, you see it in there in the mix, and it's not like bam in your face, but there's a subtle elegance to it. And when I pull the print, you'll notice here that I take my time, I pull it a little bit, and then if there's some paint that I can pick up, I'll just put the paper back down, rub it a little bit more, to fill in some of those maybe whiter or spaces that I didn't press down hard enough on. Since there's some paint left on the brayer, I'm just going to add it back to the plate and then pull another print with a different piece of paper. This is a great stash building exercise for, having for painty papers and all that stuff that you want to make. And the other thing is that this also teaches you how your different paints work. And that's really important when you're gel printing, is learn how your different paints work, depending on the brand, depending on the temperature of the day, depending on all different kind of factors. Jenkins. This is our group's favorite color, green. It's Jenkins green. And again, I'm pulling this on some tea bag paper. And this creates a beautiful print. The tea bag paper is really nice. It's delicate, but it's not, it doesn't rip easily. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's thin like the carnival tissue. All right, let's keep going. Let's do this one with all metallics, and it's gonna be an ombre. I've listed all the colors on the video, and if you've missed anything or still have a question, always feel free to drop a comment in the comment section, and I will do my best to answer. And I don't know what I'm going to do with these prints yet, but they turned out really, really cool. And towards the end of the video, you'll see I took some of the prints that I make during this part, and then I add to them. So you can see that part as well of my process. And like I always say, every print is not 100% done when you see it on the video. Sometimes I go back in and I, use pencils, or I use acrylic markers, or add some more paint with a stencil or not, and mess around with them and until I really like it. So when you do a print, if you don't love it right away, don't get rid of it. Set it to the side, come back to it another day, and something might click in you that go, oh, I know what I can do to make this better. So give yourself a chance. Don't beat yourself up if that first pull is not fantastic. You'll get there. this particular day of filming, it was very hot and humid outside, so I had my air conditioning on, and that causes the paints to dry a little quicker. So I did move a little more quickly than normal, but I knew that in going into the session. So that's why it's important to get to know your paints, because if you know that, when the air is dry, your paints dry faster, or when your AC's on, the paints dry faster, or if it's humid out, they don't dry as fast. If you keep those things in mind when you're learning about your paints, that comes in really handy when you're doing a haul session like this, where you're doing a lot of prints. Do another dark print, this time with some the metallic gray from Arteza and Mars Black from Liquitex. And lately I've been really into the dot method, and I've been watching Patricia over at PM Artist Studio do that, and I just love how it turns out, so I'm doing it, why not? I love this print because it pulled up some of that blue that was on the stencil already, and it just made a really cool combination. Here I'm using my golden open paint, the transparent red iron oxide. Open means it is engineered to not dry so quickly. It stays wetter longer, so you have more time to work with it. And believe it or not, the atmosphere in my space was such that this did not take long to dry. So, and that worked to my advantage because I didn't have to wait 24 hours for this print to dry, and I could, handle it and pull it, or handle it and maybe add more if I wanted to. So I'm going to take the rest of what's left behind and add it to this print that has, I think it's blue. Grungy goodness. All right, I'm taking out the yellow oxide. Great color from Liquitex Basics Acrylics. Let's throw in some Golden Hour Arteza Metallic. Get some brighter prints, why not? I like to do a variety. It's hard for me to stay on one color theme. It really is. Like I bounce from color to color, color. And I like it that way. That's how I work. Look at that. Ooh, very good. And notice that one, I didn't want to leave that down so long. So I just did a little rubby on the paper and picked up just some of it. And it looks great because I didn't kill off a lot of that beautiful like mahogany color. Still pulling up from the stencil from stuff that was there before, so you get kind of a greenish tinge in some of those spots where there was the blue before. So that blue is still giving. And this time we're going to throw down some golden fluid acrylic nickel azo yellow. stencil's getting really grunged up. But look, you see that? It pulled up so much beautiful stuff off that stencil, and it's really creating some wonderful prints. So this is another print I did earlier, and I'm gonna put the rest of that yellow onto here. I don't like to waste paint. Look at that beautiful outline that left behind. Amazing. So this is gonna sit and dry completely before I come in and add my pull layer. Now I can do other stuff on this as well, but I just want to keep it simple for y'all and just pull the print that with that basic, you know, with the what was left behind, because I think that's the highlight of the whole thing. So now I'm going to play with some other prints, like I said before, and add more layers of paint. Some of them didn't turn out as great as I wanted to, but that's how you learn, right? So this was a primary blue from Amsterdam Paints, and that turned out nice. It's got great texture too. And that's why I like to use the mix of the different viscosity paints, because it does give you a nice texture on your prints. I think this is the third layer for this particular print, I'm not sure. But adding the blue is awesome. I love blue. That's probably my favorite color. There we go, look at that. Gorgeous. And now for this one. I'm thinking, what am I gonna put down? I'm gonna take the permanent rose. This is Winsor Newton Galleria permanent rose, another favorite of mine. And I have to admit, I think I went a little bit heavy. But it didn't turn out terrible. I just wish I'd gone a little bit lighter on the rose color. Now this is the one that had the 4 different or 5 different metallic paints. So I'm going to add a layer of this transparent red iron oxide. This is a great paint. You have to get it. Even if it's not in the open version, it's a great paint to have in your collection. It just can transform a blah print into something just epic. Look at that. How awesome was that? And I've got this left behind that I can add to another print. So that's what I'm doing. And that's what we would call technically a ghost print. And I added it to this one that had the yellow, and it just made it even better. And this is a golden fluid acrylic, but it's a mix of a couple of different paints that were left over and some acrylic medium. Obviously, the strongest of the colors I added there was purple. But there is some transparent red iron oxide in there and maybe something else. But it's a nice color. And I love what it did with this print. Look at that. Oh, very romantic looking. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what I feel. And it gave us a great ghost print too. And I'm just trying to fill up those little white edges that really disturb me when you look at the print. So I'm trying to get those filled in. Love how that turned out. All right, I'm gonna pick this particular ghost print up with some Amsterdam Pearl Red. And as you can see, there's some stuff left on the brayer that's mixing in, but it's not really like terrible. And this is the black print. I think the first one I did in the video. Yeah, but look at that. Oh my God, that's fantastic. And here's another one. I wish I hadn't added this particular layer, but like I said, you know, live and learn. And for this one, I used the Winsor Newton Galleria Ultramarine Blue. I used too much. If I'd used a little bit less, I think it would have been better, but I definitely killed the metallic, you know, most of it. But you tell me what you think, if I should have left it alone. See, I think it was too much. I mean, you still see some metallic, but not the variety that it was showing earlier. So to what's left on the plate, I'm just adding some of this nickel azo yellow, a thin layer of that, and then picking it up with a print that had the fern green and the olive green metallic on it. And it just really makes it really, really good. Look at that. That's fantastic. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for all your support, all your love. Here's my final pull layer, and I'm using a folk art Dutch aquamarine or Dutch blue, and then some metallic, I believe that's the turquoise from Arteza, and mixing that up, and that's going to be my pull layer. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I love comments. And a comment is free and helps me a lot in my YouTube thing. So thank you guys. Have a great day. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.